Hey, everybody. We are interviewing our staff here so that people who are looking at hiring the firm can kind of get to know everybody on the team. And so today we've got with us Rachel Cantu. She's a legal assistant with our office. Hey, Rachel, can you introduce yourself to everybody and kind of tell us what you do for the office?
Hi, my name's Rachel. I work for Brian Foley's office. I'm currently a legal assistant, so I assist Mr. Foley in office and outside of the office as well.
Okay. So what's a typical day like being a legal assistant here at Brian Foley Law?
A typical day includes going to court, assisting in court with the court dates, the hearings, getting a new court date if we need one. Sometimes clients will need a class or mitigation that is needed, so I work back and forth with the client and the attorney and the court as well to making sure that everyone gets what they need, and if something is needed, that client gets to that as well.
So what is your favorite thing to do at your job?
My favorite thing to do is probably e-file. I love to go on to the e-file system and learn how to do different things on there, file subpoenas, the petitions, occupational stuff like that. That's pretty fun.
What is the e-file system for folks watching who don't know what that is?
So that is our Texas government system that we use to e-file things electronically online. I'm sure a long time ago, 10, 15 years ago, everything was all paper, but now everything's electronic in most counties and states. So if you need to submit something to the court, you would do that online.
There used to be things called runners that every law firm had, like college students or high school kids who wanted to work somehow at a firm, and they would literally just take documents that needed to be filed from the legal assistants, run, downtown to the courthouse to make sure they get it filed in time, before 5 o'clock on certain deadlines, and they would file everything in paper at the courthouse. That's all over with now. What do you tell everybody? You used to work at offices that had paper, and we're paperless. How
Mm-hmm.
has that adjustment been?
Oh, it's been amazing. Quite a difference. I remember having the end of the year is probably the craziest. There's like files, cabinets. It's insane because you have to clean out files and move things. But with an electronic system, it's very easy to go to where you need to go, and things are where they're at. Things are saved, so it's way less paper as long as you're keeping track of everything and putting things where they go.
Yeah, there's certainly an adjustment period. I think sometimes the paper, I like it. Obviously, if we're going to trial, we need paper. We print things out if you have to show something to a jury. But a lot of times, when I first started the firm, we were, there's no paper at all ever. I didn't even like having a printer. We do have a couple printers now. Every now and then we have to do something. What's the hardest thing to do fully electronic?
Say probably the hardest thing electronic is signing. A lot of people have difficulty signing things, so a lot of the time we'll have to take the extra time to carefully explain to them how to save it, how to write on their phone, because a lot of people are not as tech savvy.
Yeah, yeah, and the Adobe Fill-In Sign app has helped us a lot with
Yes.
with that too. What's it like going to court for the first time in Montgomery County?
Oh, so if you've never been to court in Montgomery County, it's probably going to be a little intimidating. There's a lot of people there, and there's a lot of bailiffs as well. So there's a lot of going on in court, so you can always feel lost, and people will feel like, where am I going? Which court? Which? And Montgomery County is a pretty big courthouse too. If you go from, there's two entrances, and I hear it all the time. People are like, I went in through this entrance, I went in through that entrance. So the biggest thing I would say that's kind of scary getting to court is getting to where you need to be. Make sure you're in on time, and then waiting for your attorney. But when you're with Mr. Foley's office, we're always there right on time. We make sure that you feel in the best hands.
Yeah, I do think that's something we try to be, on time or early. I don't know. I think it's just my dad was in the military and we were always early everywhere and making us wait. Everybody, that's kind of our policy, is try to get there early. Can you explain how you help folks who hire our firm? And for that scary first court date, what do you do on the first court date with them?
Yeah, on the first court date, I will call them usually about 10, 15 minutes before court, make sure that you're on your way, make sure you didn't oversleep, make sure whatever didn't happen, that you're on your way to court, that we'll see you there. And then, yeah, I pretty much just check in with everybody, make sure that mostly that you feel secure, that you're not, a lot of people will ask, am I going to jail right away? And I'm like, yeah, well, let's take a breather because it is intimidating.
Yeah, very unlikely that somebody's going to go to jail on the first court date. The only way that really happens is if they had bond conditions and then they had a violation of bond conditions. What do we do? How do you find out that someone's had a violation of bond conditions?
Yeah, so if someone has a violation or they are in some sort of trouble and they're not sitting where the rest of the folks are sitting, you're going to probably be sitting in what's called the jury box. So the bailiff will ask you to go to the front of the courtroom and have a seat where the jurors would normally sit. And you're kind of like in timeout until we can figure out what is going on. Sometimes it's an administrative thing, like an email didn't get sent, or they don't have proof of your interlock, or there could be a multiple different reasons for something you're in the box. So I always tell people not to assume the worst right away and to let us figure out what is going on first.
And so you said interlock. Can you tell folks what an interlock is?
So yeah, an ignition interlock is a device that they will have you install into your car. You'll have to blow into it, and it will have to blow all zeros for you to be able to drive your car. This is something that you'll need. Usually, it's like DWI seconds. They'll have you blow into that, and you'll need that to drive. So if you don't have that, if you didn't get it put in that timely manner, you might find yourself in the jury box your next court setting.
So being in the jury box, bad news.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, we can get people out of that, though, if there's been a misunderstanding. Sometimes, like you said, maybe they'll have tested out of county. That's another good example of somebody being in the jury box. And the place where they did the drug testing didn't forward the results. So if we have that or the client has it, sometimes we're getting that kind of stuff. When are clients the happiest, would you say?
I'd say clients are the happiest when their attorney responds and when, yeah, the response is immediate. So I always see clients, they just light up like, oh my gosh, you answered me right away. And I was like, of course, what else are we here for if not to answer what you need immediately?
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on and sharing that information with everybody. If you like what you saw here today, don't forget to like and subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. And thank you very much, Rachel. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.